Hello everybody. Today we will discuss about the body cavities and the membranes of these cavities. Peritoneum, it is basically the membranous structure that lines the abdominal pelvic cavity. It has got two layers. One is parietal peritoneum, which is the part of the peritoneum that lines the abdominal wall. As you can see, the one which is in red in color, it is lining the abdominal wall. And the other is called visceral peritoneum, which lines the viscera or the organs of the abdominal cavity. But these two are the general terms. If you will talk about the thoracic cavity, pleural cavity, the parietal pleura that will line the chest wall is called parietal pleura, and the one that is lining the surface of the lungs will be called as visceral pleura. So visceral means organs and parietal means wall. So you can see the visceral pleura is lining the different organs like liver, stomach, and small intestine cross sections. So peritoneum is used for the support of the organs to be in their place and also tightly hold the ligaments to provide there is a small amount of free fluid present within these two potential space, the potential space between the two foldings of the peritoneum, that is parietal and visceral peritoneum. Visceral parietal peritoneum, the potential space. Hello everybody. Today we will discuss about the membranes and body cavities. So peritoneum is basically a membranous structure. It has got two layers. The one here shown red in color is lining the abdominal and pelvic wall, and this is called parietal peritoneum. The other layer, which is shown here in blue color, is lining the organs of the abdomen, and this is called visceral peritoneum. So the peritoneal sac, this will form up a peritoneal sac, and the purpose of this sac is to hold the organs or support the organs along with the ligaments so that they should be in their own places. And there is a small amount of free fluid also present, negligible amount of free fluid, provided just for the lubrication of the organs so that they do not stick to each other. In a man, the peritoneum is completely a closed sac, closed sac, but in women it actually has external communication via the fallopian tubes. So there is a little bit of high risk of infection also, like peritonitis or infection of the peritoneum due to the external opening of the peritoneum. However, in both sexes, the peritoneum is considered to be as a continuous structure and therefore creates a peritoneal sac in this peritoneal sac. It is not uncommon in some pathological conditions that the fluid accumulates over there, which we call it as ascites. So cavities of the human body. The human body contains several cavities which are spaces or compartments that house and protects the internal organ. Broadly speaking, the two main body cavities over here are called ventral body cavity, and this one is dorsal body cavity. The ventral cavity uses this diaphragm, which is a cardiovascular layer, and it is further subdivided into thoracic cavity and abdominal cavity or abdominal pelvic cavity. The thoracic cavity is further subdivided, or it consists of uh, pleural cavity on either side, each containing each lung, and it is lined by the pleura. Also, there is surrounding the heart is pericardial cavity, which contains the heart, and that is lined by the pericardium. In abdominal pelvic cavity, this also contains abdominal cavity as well as pelvic cavity, and this dorsal body cavity consists of cranial cavity, and which houses and protects the brain, and it is formed by the bones of the skull, and the spinal cavity or the vertebral cavity, which enhances and protects the spinal cord. It is formed by the vertebrae of the spine. So these cavities are lined with the serous membranes, which secretes a small lubricating fluid to reduce the friction between the organs and the cavity walls. The cavities also allow for the movement and flexibility of the organs during various bodily functions. So, by these membranes, there are some potential spaces formed both in the thoracic cavity as well as in the abdominal pelvic cavity. So, what is potential space? The term potential space is refers to the anatomical space within the human body that are not basically filled with any fluid, that are not basically filled with any fluid. There is no fluid in between these two layers, that is visceral and parietal peritoneum. But in some pathological cases, they will accumulate the fluid, and these are the potential spaces, such as pericardial cavity, pericardial cavity, abdominal cavity, pelvic cavity, and cranial cavity. So in pleural cavity, there is a very minimal amount of EQ, negligible amount. That is only just for the lubrication to avoid the friction. So this black line covering the lungs is also pleura, and the one which is outermost layer is the parietal pleura covering the chest wall. So if there is some fluid accumulation due to any pathological process, then this potential space will be filled up with a fluid that is known as pleural effusion. Similarly, pericardial effusion, the pericardial cavity is located within the mediastinum in between the two lungs. It, or you can say the central compartment of the thoracic cavity. The pericardial cavity is the anatomical space which is surrounded by, again, the innermost layer, which is called visceral pericardium, sometimes also called as epicardium, and the outermost is the parietal pericardium. So normally there is no fluid, but in case of pericardial effusion, there will be accumulation of fluid within this pericardial cavity, and this is called pericardial effusion. This peritoneal cavity has got different potential spaces. This abdominal cavity, if you will see that this parietal peritoneum comes covers the urinary bladder, posterior wall of the urinary bladder, and then it covers the anterior wall of the uterus. This makes a potential space of within the fold of this is the potential space which normally do not contains fluid, just the air, so it is collapsed. But in some cases, if there is fluid accumulation due to any reason, so this potential space between the posterior wall of the bladder and the anterior wall of the uterus is called anterior cul-de-sac, and in couple of cases, especially in cases of ruptured ectopic pregnancy, you will see the accumulation of fluid between the bladder and the uterus. Then there is another potential space which is also found in this peritoneal cavity, pelvic cavity, and now this potential space is called posterior cul-de-sac, that was anterior cul-de-sac, and this is formed by the posterior wall covering of the peritoneum. Here it is more explained. You know, this is bladder, and this is uterus, and this is rectum. So we have already seen that this space is anterior cul-de-sac in females, because this anterior cul-de-sac and posterior cul-de-sac will not be seen in males, because they don't have this female reproductive organ. And the potential space between this posterior wall of the uterus and the rectum is called posterior cul-de-sac. In males, only there is a potential space between this posterior wall of the bladder and the anterior wall of the rectum, and this is just called as vesicorectal space. Vesico means bladder. So, in all together, this is the upper abdominal cavity. If there is fluid accumulation, then this will form the um, ascites, and if there is accumulation in the cul-de-sac, or there might be accumulation within the posterior cul-de-sac.